The Call of the Wild, 잭 런던, 야성의 부름 16번째 이야기, Chapter 7, The Sounding of the Call. Buck earned $1,600 in 5 minutes for John Thornton, and he made it possible for his master to pay off certain debts and to journey with his partners into the east after a fabled lost mine. Many men had sought it, few had found it, and more than a few there were who had never returned from the quest. This lost mine was steeped in tragedy and shrouded in mystery. No one knew of the first man. From the beginning, there had been an ancient and ramshackle cabin. Dying men had sworn to it. But no living man had looted this treasure house, and the dead were dead. John Thornton and Pete and Hans, with Buck and half a dozen other dogs, faced into the east on an unknown trail. They sledded 70 miles up the Yukon, swung to the left into the Stewart River, and held on until the Stewart itself became a streamlet. John Thornton asked little of man or nature. He was unafraid of the wild. With a handful of salt and a rifle, he could plunge into the wilderness. Being in no haste Indian fashion, he hunted his dinner in the course of the day's travel. And if he failed to find it, like the Indian, he kept on traveling, believing that sooner or later he would come to it. So, on this great journey into the east, straight meat was the bill of fare, and ammunition and the tools principally were made up the load on the sled. Sometimes they went hungry, sometimes they feasted riotously, all according to the abundance of game and the fortune of hunting. The months came and went, and back and forth they twisted through the uncharted vastness. But the path began nowhere and ended nowhere, and it remained mystery. The man who made it and the reason why he made it remained mystery. Another time they chanced upon the time-graved wreckage of a hunting lodge, and amidst the shreds of a rotted blanket, John Thornton found a long-barreled flint lock. And that was all, no hint as to the man who in early day had reared the lodge and left the gun among the blankets. Spring came on once more, and at the end of all their wandering, they found not the lost cabin, but they found a shallow plaza in a broad valley where the gold showed like yellow butter across the bottom of the washing pan. They sought no further. Each day they walked under them thousands of dollars in clean dust and nuggets, and they walked every day. The gold was sacked in moose hide bags, 50 pounds to the bag, and piled like so much firewood outside the lodge. Like giants they toiled, days flashing on the heels of days like dreams, as they heaped the treasure up. There was nothing for the dogs to do save the hauling in of meat now and again that Thornton killed, and Buck spent long hours musing by the fire. The vision of the short-legged hairy man came to him more frequently now that there was little work to be done. And often, blinking by the fire, Buck wandered with him in that other world which he remembered. The salient thing of this other world seemed fear, when he watched the hairy man sleeping by the fire, head between his knees and hands clasped above. Buck saw that he slept restlessly. They walked by the beach of a sea. The hairy man gathered shellfish and ate them as he gathered. The hairy man could spring up into the trees and travel ahead as fast as on the ground, swinging by the arms from limb to limb, sometimes a dozen feet apart, letting go and catching, never falling, never missing his grip. And closely akin to the visions of the hairy man was the call still sounding in the depths of the forest. It filled him with a great unrest and strange desires.